Hi friends, and welcome to my healthy kitchen. My name is Olga, and today we're going to make one more nut-free, raw, plant-based and gluten-free cake. And of course it will be without any refined sugar. We will be using maple syrup. And I want to tell you a few words about this cake. So first of all, it is based on fresh young coconut, Thai coconuts. I highly recommend you to find this ingredient for this cake, and it's amazing substitution to cashews. It gives you another texture, another flavor, very coconutty flavor. It's other type of raw vegan plant-based cakes, and I highly recommend you to try it exactly with the fresh meat from young Thai coconuts. But of course, if you can't find this coconut and maybe it's not the season, or in your country it's not possible to find, you can use cashews. And substitution for this ingredient you can find in the file for downloading below of this video. Like all my raw cakes, we're going to start with the crust. For this crust, I remind you, it's a nut-free cake. If you don't use cashews, we're going to use shredded coconut. I recommend you to use a full-fat, medium shredded coconut from sealed packs. So it shouldn't be like from bulk section, because if you buy it in bulk, the bag is opened and your coconut absorb a lot of liquid moisture, different flavors, and it becomes not so fatty like we want. So if you want like good quality of shredded coconut, find it like a medium full fat in packaging. Also, we're going to use ground flaxseeds. In this recipe, it doesn't matter if it will be golden or brown flaxseeds. I will be using brown ground flaxseeds. Medjool dates, I soaked them about 20 minutes in hot water before starting this video. Raw cacao powder to achieve a chocolate flavor for our crust. And one more ingredient that I am going to add, and just a little bit, it will be coconut oil. Coconut oil usually comes in solid form if you have quite cool temperature into your home, and we need to reheat it. So here you are. Now we do not measure our coconut oil, we just put it into any glass that is suitable for microwave, and we will microwave it. Let's melt it into microwave for about 15 seconds. So here you are, my coconut oil extra virgin, completely melted. So I'm going to use it in this form, and honestly a big video about coconut oil, coconut butter. We're going to use coconut butter today, and cacao butter, also an ingredient from this recipe, you can find in another video here, and I highly recommend you to watch it if you are first time with me making raw cake. So now we need a food processor, and we put all dry ingredients firstly and blend them. So now I put shredded coconut, I put my cacao powder and ground flaxseeds. We need to blend it, let's say minimum 30-45 seconds. So it's quite long, but let's do it. You will see what I want to achieve. So here you are. You may see that we broke down a shredded coconut into smaller pieces, and our shredded coconut compared with the flaxseeds create quite sticky texture. This is what we need to achieve. Now we need to put our dates. We remove pits and we add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, melted. So right now we measure it. Let's blend. We will be making small cake in 6 inches mold, or it's about 15 centimeters. I prefer to use stainless steel rings with acetate strip, and also I have a separate video about my suggestions what type of molds to use and how to prepare them. Find it there. So now everything is very easy. Let's massage our butter just a little bit. You may see that it is super soft and it's perfect. We added enough dates, we added a little bit coconut oil, so the final texture of our crust will be soft and chewy, but not crunchy in this situation. And press with your fingers and create one flat, even layer. So here you are, our crust is ready. We set it aside, we leave it on our counter. And now we talk about our main cream for our coconut Neapolitan. The main ingredient for our coconut Neapolitan cake is fresh coconut meat. So here is my young Thai coconut, and I have a video how I open this coconut. You can find a lot of other options how to do it, and at the beginning of my career I even used help of like nearest healthy stores, bars, cafes, and I came to them with a young coconut, bought a cup of coffee and asked them to open the coconut, because for me it was very hard to do, and they opened it to me without any problem. So it's like a life hack. Also you can find in the internet a lot of other options, other tools. So anyway, you need about 3 young coconuts to make this cake. I want to emphasize that you need to have such thick coconut meat. Sometimes, unfortunately, I don't have it today. All my coconuts were perfect, but sometimes you can find coconuts with the like pink, not sometimes pink, sometimes purple color, very thin coconut meat. It means that your coconuts are too young. This coconut meat is very good. You can use it for smoothies, but for this cake it doesn't work, because we need to achieve quite stable cake, and with those very thin young coconuts, it's hard to do. So that's why when you will be going to make this cake, I highly suggest you to buy 4 young coconuts, because most likely 1 coconut will be too young. If all 4 coconuts will be with such amazing butter, it means you are lucky. So you've got beautiful coconuts. So here you are. I have 350 grams of young coconut. So we need from 320 till 350 grams of young coconut. Why such a difference? Because it depends on your coconut. So if your 3 coconuts can give you 320 grams, that's okay. You don't need to open the 4th one. By the way, if you have leftovers of this fresh coconut meat, you can freeze this meat for about 1 month. And also I have a beautiful video with the raw white chocolate truffles. I use fresh coconut there as well, and I highly suggest you to try those white chocolate truffles. And by the way, I will be putting them as a decoration on this cake. Next ingredient that we need to use is coconut butter. You can find it like a name with a name coconut manna, and we need to melt it using a double boiler, so it has a soft consistency. Sweetener can be maple syrup, agave nectar, brown rice syrup, so depends on what you want. I prefer to use maple syrup. Coconut oil, we will measure it later. A little bit of vanilla extract, salt, and when you open young coconut, you will have some coconut water. We will be using it here as well. So now we put all ingredients into our high-speed blender. First, of course, we put all our meat from young coconuts, our sweetener, vanilla extract and salt. Regarding the coconut water, I just wanted to show you how I'm going to measure it. So because we usually have some flakes here, it's not so clear as we want, just use a sieve. Leftovers of this coconut water, again, you can use for making white chocolate truffles or just for smoothies. Also, let's measure our coconut oil. As you remember, we just melted it, but didn't measure. Here you are. coconut oil and also melted soft coconut butter we will be adding a little bit later. Now let's blend and get a completely smooth consistency. Now, using a low speed, we're going to add first coconut oil and then coconut butter. Here you are. Let me show you the texture. It's super smooth. It's thick. And this is a beauty of young coconut meat. Young coconut meat help us to achieve something like a jelly consistency of our final product. Okay, guys, we just made a base for all our 3 layers of coconut Neapolitan. It tastes amazing, but it's just white base. Now we need to 2 bowls and pour some butter into each bowl, and we will work on each next layer later. So you remember we have chocolate, strawberry and white chocolate vanilla coconut layer. Now it's a very important moment. You need to achieve those like even layers. You need to be very careful when you measure each layer. Let's start with the first one, white chocolate layer that we pour at the end of whole process. For this layer we need to save 300-310 grams of our cream. Set it aside. For strawberry layer we need 200 grams. Now we set it aside because we're going to work with it in just a couple of minutes. And these leftovers that we have right now in this jar will be our first chocolate layer. But of course it's not yet chocolate, and we need to add a couple more ingredients. These are cacao butter and cacao powder. Cacao butter usually comes in such solid form, and we need to melt it using a double boiler. So this is what we are going to do right now. We melt it, then we put everything into the our jar and create amazing chocolate layer. Now I put my cacao powder, and while I will be blending, I will add slowly cacao butter. That is all. So let's grab our mold, kitchen scales, and we need to pour 300 grams. So set 0 and measure 300 grams. We can grab a towel and tap a few times from different sides. So here you are, we have ready to go first layer. Now we put it into the freezer for minimum 30-40 minutes. And meanwhile we can work on our other 2 layers and clean our kitchen, and you will see 30-40 minutes will pass. Next 2 layers. It's gonna be strawberry layer and white chocolate layer. Let's start from the simplest layer. It will be white chocolate, and the only one additional ingredient that I'm going to add here is raw cacao butter. Here it is. I melted it already, and now we just need to mix it inside of this cream. I'm not going to use a blender for this. Usually it's quite okay to mix it with a fork or spoon, whatever you want, or even spatula. So you just need to mix it. And to be sure that you don't have any butter that you can see that is not incorporated into our white cream. So just mix it. Next layer is our strawberry layer. For this I'm going to use, of course, our 200 grams of white base cream, more cacao butter than we put into the white chocolate and chocolate layers. Why? Because we're going to add defrosted, or honestly it can be fresh, organic strawberries. Strawberries will give us quite a lot of additional liquid. So to make our layer more stable, we're going to add a little bit more cacao butter. Also combination of strawberries, coconut and cacao, so honestly chocolate, it tastes amazing, I promise you. And to boost more our strawberry flavor, I'm going to add just a little bit of lemon. It's gonna be about like 1-2 teaspoons. But you can taste your strawberries if they are off season and they are tart. Do not add lemon juice, so it can be quite enough. However, we can't blend everything by hand. We will be using our high-speed blender. Of course, I clean it after chocolate layer, and we just need to put everything inside. We start with strawberries, lemon juice, our cream, and cacao butter we will add a little bit later. Let's add cacao butter. Here you are. We are ready to measure 300 grams of strawberry layer. So here you are, we have 300 grams of our strawberry layer. We have 310 grams of our white chocolate layer. Right now we cover everything with a plastic wrap and leaving on our counter until our previous layer will be completely hard to pour the next one layer. Don't forget to mix a little bit your strawberry layer and just pour on top. Here you go, and we leave it into the freezer for next 30 minutes, and the last layer is coming up. As I mentioned before, I'm going to add some decorations. It's white chocolate truffles from my YouTube, and I'm going to insert them right now into like creamy cream. I will show you right now. Don't forget to stir it a little bit to be sure that there is no cacao butter, and just let's add it here. Our last super thick cream, and let's put our truffles. Here you go. I move my cake into the freezer until tomorrow. Tomorrow we will unmold it, defrost and serve. Guys, here is my Neapolitan cake. It is directly from the freezer. I left it for chilling overnight in the freezer. Now we put it on serving plate. And as usual, my favorite moment when I show that it's so easy to work with frozen cakes when you use ring and acetate strip. So here you are. Here you are. Let's find the most beautiful side for our cake. Let it be here, for example. We can remove acetate strip. So here you are. This is our ideal cake with ideal layers, our beautiful nut-free coconut Neapolitan cake. Now, of course, it is very frozen, completely frozen, and we need to defrost it. I move it to refrigerator for defrosting for about like 4-5 hours, and in 4-5 hours you can cut it, you can enjoy it, and I hope you would love and you will appreciate this alternative to cashews, and you will feel this amazing coconut flavor, not from coconut oil but from real whole food ingredient, such wholesome for our bodies, for our health, fresh coconut meat. These white chocolate truffles looks amazing, and thank you for watching, thank you for being with me. If you ever make this cake, please tag me on Instagram or Facebook, and I would love to see your creations. Have a wonderful day. Bye.